Hey everyone, I'm coming to you from the great outdoors today to discuss last night's Married at First Sight episode. I don't know about you, but I was pretty stunned. I think that everybody should marry who they want to marry, and ideally, in the usual world, that would be somebody that they love, somebody they've met and fallen in love with. But I guess it's a different sort of format, isn't it? The show doesn't include the love aspect, and it can be a bit of a shock to the family and friends when they're, being told the news that their loved one is getting married to somebody they don't love, they don't know, they've never even seen. So I can understand the initial shock, but let's focus a little bit on Patrick's mum. Good old Ruby Tuesday. Good old Ballbreaker Ruby. She just ruined everything, didn't she? I mean, I'm really glad that Patrick didn't take on board her opinions, and that he really trusted his own instincts and he went with what he had decided to do. But imagine if he had stopped the wedding because of her. But I'm really glad that instead of listening to his mum, he went through with it and he got to know Charlene, and it looks like they might actually have a chance, which is fabulous. But what about her talk about, I am going to make him choose, if I don't like her, I will make him choose between her and me? Well, I thought that was a little bit interesting, because at the start of the show, during his introduction telling us about himself, Patrick mentioned that his dad had died, and before he died he'd looked after him, taken him into his home, which he shared with his wife at the time, and that the wife hadn't been able to handle all the care and the caring for the father, and so she'd left, and as a result the marriage had broken down. Do you think he would do the same thing twice? I don't think so. If faced with the decision to choose Charlene or his mum, I don't think he'll choose the mum. I really hope he doesn't. The other thing that Charlene has over some of the other girls that he's dated, according to Ruby, is that she's not like them. Now, I thought that was really interesting, because it kind of touched on a little bit of what I discussed in my video last night, which was posted this morning, that they're going on the show for something different, to meet somebody they would not have usually met. Now, Ruby is adamant that it's not going to work because she's not like all the other girls. I think that's got a lot more to do with what she thinks and how she lives her life than Patrick does, because I have a good feeling that she's actually a bit threatened by Charlene, because she can see that she's a little bit more outgoing and bubbly and a bit vivacious, and possibly she'll be a bit of a challenge. So I think Charlene, if she catches a whiff of all the opinions that Ruby has, I think she won't have a bar of it. Honestly, I don't think she'll even think twice. Charlene seems really strong and emotionally stable and mature, and I think she'll just say, on your bike, in whatever way she has to say it. I'm sure she'd be supportive of Patrick and obviously understanding of what him being in the middle, but I just don't think she'd stand for it, really. So I think the best case scenario is that Ruby actually gets to know Charlene, because we haven't seen them actually meet and even have a conversation, and that she likes her, because I'd hate to think that she would stand in the way of what could be really great for Patrick, because he's already had a hard enough time in his life, and doesn't everybody deserve love? Yes, they do. So tell me, do you have a story of somebody in your family getting in the way of true love, or an arrangement or a job, or just something that you want to do in your life? Was there someone who just sort of took over and forced their own opinions upon you? I want to hear all about it. So please do leave your comments. Let me know what you thought of the episode, what I've said today, and yeah, tell me a little bit more about yourselves, and if you've had to go through something like that and how you dealt with it, because it could be an interesting road for Patrick and Charlene. And I will catch you tomorrow with another video about tonight's episode. Catch you then.